Hello and welcome to the School Made Simpleton channel. Today I would like to cover one of my favorite topics actually from the very beginning. It's algebra. Oh, I misspelled algebra. Algebra is very simple. It involves lots of variables mixed with numbers. This is where we start to see the introduction of constants and all that stuff. It's quite easy. So I'm going to start off here with a very easy equation. So we're going to do 6y equals 30. Now this is simple enough here. We have 6 and a variable equaling a number. So in order to get the answer to this, you're going to divide both sides by y. Okay? And what this will do is it's going to get rid of the y on this side, and now we're going to have 6 equals 30y over y. And what you do now, because you need to isolate the variable, is a very important thing. So in this case, since you have the 30 over y, you want to get rid of the 6 on this side. You're going to multiply this side by 6, and then you also got to whatever you do on one side, you got to do on the other. So you multiply this side by 6, and then make sure you're dividing this 6 by y, so it's equal. And now you have 6 plus 6x equals, where's my calculator? 30 times 6. 30, 60 over y plus 2, since there's two of them. There's two of them there. So you'll notice that the y still isn't isolated, but if you look at this side, the actual x is currently able to be factored out. So we have x, 6 plus 6, equals 30, 60 divided by 2, and that becomes, where's my calculator? And that actually becomes 1080 divided by y divided by 2, which actually becomes 3060 again over y. Because if you have a fraction on top of a fraction, that's like multiplying by a fraction. So, okay. So then, we have to isolate this side by x. So 6 plus 6 is equal to, what? Okay, so what I think is happening here, because the y here, so, okay, this actually cancels out, so we have 3y divided by 2, because it canceled out, so you cross it out, which is equal to x, or, no, I think that's the x we brought over, yes. Now that we have that, you multiply this side, so 12 times 3yx over 2 times 2. Yeah. I think these ones cancel out. 3y over 2. And then if we look back at the original equation, yeah, so we looked at the original equation, and then I think you multiply this by 2, giving us 48 equals 3y2, and then you multiply this by 2 and this by 2 also, which would be, where's my calculator, which equals 96 equals 6 times y, because there's 2, and we get 96 equals 6y squared, because there's 2 of them, so you get a little 2. And then you divide this side by 6 and this side by 6, which cancels out this and the squared. So you get, where's my calculator? So you get 16 equals y. Yeah, and then, where's the original equation? So 36 equals, a little messy, equals 30 over y. and then we substitute 16 in for y, so 36 equals 30 over 16. Yeah, so this should be the answer right here. And since we substituted it in, because see the 6 here and the 3. So now let's start fresh with another algebraic equation. Okay, so for this one, we're going to do a little more complicated equation. I've gotten a lot of requests in recent videos to do this formula right here. A lot of people have been discovering this for the first time. So what we have here is the Pythagorean theorem, which is used a lot in trigonometry. For example, if you have a right triangle, this part right here is actually considered the hypotenuse, which is the shortest side of a right triangle always. And a right triangle, as you'll notice actually right here, always has a 90-degree angle. That's what makes it a right triangle, because if it weren't, it would be a wrong triangle, and getting into those is a little more advanced calculus sort of subject. So what does the Pythagoras theorem have to do with a right triangle? If you want to calculate the hypotenuse of a triangle, let's say this side over here is side A, and this side is side B. We'll call the hypotenuse side C. Essentially, when it comes down to it, you do, this is a limit, which isn't necessarily to be looked at. That's sort of just fancy notation for a triangle. So see, we have an AB and a C, which corresponds to X, H, and H. No, because this all equals C. You can substitute A in for X, and H would be B. Write that out to be limit, aka triangle, F A plus B minus F of A all over B. And this all gives you the hypotenuse of a triangle. Having done all that, how do we calculate it? Well, usually at least one of these sides will be given. So in this instance, let's say side A is approximately 3 kilometers, side B is 40 centimeters. There will be no need for a conversion because the conversion is automatically done throughout this formula, because there's 100 centimeters in a kilometer. So this would actually equal like 3,000 centimeters. But you don't have to worry about that as of right now, because the conversion will automatically be applied in the later steps of this formula. So you do the limit, aka triangle, you're calculating a triangle, f of, what was it, 3 and 40 minus f of, what was that? 3 all over 40, and this will give you side C, hypotenuse of the triangle. So after having done all that, you have 1 or 2 more steps left. You're going to do this. F of 3 plus 40, 43. So F plus 43 minus F of 3, F minus 3, all over 40 equals C. So as you can see here, this is actually a positive F. And this right here is a negative F. This will cancel out, giving you limit, aka triangle, 43 minus 3 over 40 is equal to the hypotenuse of a triangle. Then limit, aka triangle, of 40 over 40 equals C. Then, if you'll actually notice, where's my calculator? 40 divided by 41 equals to C. Now you may be wondering, how do we get rid of this notation? You can actually substitute that out for a right triangle. So that becomes right triangle 1 equals C. You always have to draw the hypotenuse pointing towards the number. So we know, okay, the hypotenuse 1 is equal to C. And then there we have it. C is equal to 1. And if we go back over here, we can draw 1 equals C. So that was actually pretty simplistic. In this next one, I'm going to get a little bit more complicated. So here I've drawn out a bunch of different shapes. Some of them are a little more advanced. As you start to get into university level physics, you will see the 3-sided open shape, which we will not cover in today's video, so I will cross that out so there isn't any confusion. And we also have half of a swastika here. Again, we will not be covering this. This has already been covered in our previous video talking about World War II, so this will not be covered. It is unnecessary. I just drew it out so you guys could see what we're working with. Now up here we have 5 different shapes that we're going to be covering, starting off with a circle, and then we have a trapezoid, and then here we've got the rectangle, then a pentagon, triangle, and then we end off with a square. Starting off with the square is actually very interesting because a right triangle has one 90-degree angle. But if you'll notice, a square is just two right triangles sandwiched together, like a sandwich cut. Like a sandwich. Pastrami sandwich. Sorry, I got a little lost thinking about the sandwich I had for lunch today. It was actually quite delicious. So here we got I could go for if you'll excuse me, folks, I'm going to take a little lunch break, make myself a nice pastrami sandwich, and we'll get right back into shapes. Hello, folks. That did take a little bit longer than expected. It is the next day. We'll continue on here. I don't know why there is a sandwich on the screen. We'll work with what we got. So a sandwich is actually a 3D shape. If you notice, I've traced over the shape. It is currently a cube. A cube is just made up of 4 different squares, because there's 4 sides to a cube. You put these 4 squares together, you will end up with a nice cube. What does this mean for us? Say I give you the number 2. Now as you start to get into more advanced math, you might see this notation right here. This is 2 cubed. Now if you were to cube a number, it would be similar to making a cube out of this number. So I tried to rudimentary draw a cube here, but essentially what this means, as there is 4 sides to a cube as seen here, this is equivalent to 2 to the power of 4. Now powers are very tricky, because all this means is it's 2 multiplied by 4 times. So here we've got 4 groups of 2 times 4. You'll notice that we've started to see the x again from the start of the video. So all this means is it's 2x plus 4 times. And once you do this, you'll notice we can actually factor out 2x plus 4. 2x plus 4, it shows up 4 times. So we go back to the cube. This is equivalent to this little cube we saw right here. So since the cube already shows up in an earlier part of the equation, we can actually cancel this out entirely, because this cancels it out, sort of like a chess piece. Our final equation is 2x plus 4. And this will actually equal 4 because of the cube from earlier. And to solve this, you're going to want to, no, because, okay, where's my calculator? So this is actually 2 times positive 4. Yes, I see my earlier in digression. So 2 times positive 4 is equal 4. So that's basically 2 times 4, which equals 8, is equal to 4. As you'll see, this is actually an 8-sided shape, which would be a decahedron. This is equal to a cube. We draw it out. Octagon is equal to a cube. And the way you can remember this is the octagon, sort of like a stop sign, is equal to a car. Just like that. Color it in for you folks. That is how you get started on the square shape. Very simple, very progressive. I'd like to... sandwich. I'd like to take it back to... I think... okay, now we're going to cover the right triangle. So earlier in the video I covered the Pythagorean theorem, which gives you side C, aka the hypotenuse, aka the shortest side of a triangle. Now if you need to go look at the formula, you're welcome to backtrack in the video or write it down. I will not be bothering to write it out because we're not going to necessarily need it in this example. So for a right triangle, what you're going to need to solve it, say you have side C, which is 1, I think side A was 4, and this was 10 kilometers is what we did in the previous example. You need to solve a triangle. What you can actually do is deconstruct it into 3 separate segments. So here we have 10, 4, 1. And just to make it a little bit clearer, I went ahead and labeled it for you folks. So the sides are equal to here. And then what do we do once we have 3 straight lines? We have each side deconstructed. You can actually go ahead and add it all up. Yes, here we go. And yeah, so this would be 10, 11 plus 4 plus ABC. Here we've got 15 ABC. Now we have 3 variables. Oh no, you might be getting scared looking at this, but me, I know exactly how to solve this. I'm thinking several steps ahead. So when you're looking to solve a triangle like this, where you have 3 variables left, we tend to look at a constant called pi. So when talking about triangles in any way, shape, or form, it is made up of 3 pi's. And this is due to, I'm fairly sure, if I remember correctly, because a pi is cut into triangles. So each of these triangles, which is a right triangle for the record, is 1 pi. As I have mentioned, it is a constant. So each one of these pi's in the pi triangle is actually equal to 3.14158. Where's my calculator? 6, 9, 3, 1, 4, boo boo, 6, 7, 5, 1, 3, 4, 17, 18. For our purposes, we're just going to be using this first little section of pi and then be rounding. Going back to solving the triangle, you have 15ABC, and so you can actually take the pi and move it over here. And once that's over there, because it's equal to pi. Okay, and since ABC is actually the first 3 letters of the alphabet, you can change this into 15.3 equals pi. Yeah, so, hold on, I gotta look back. So I do have it labeled right here, so yeah, I think what it was is pi is equal to 15 ABC, and no, because the ABC is 3 actually, so 3 of pi is equal to 15, because pi is equal to 3.14, yes, and then you divide by 3.14, canceling out the pi and the 3. You divide this by 3, so you're left with 1 is equal to 5. 1 is equal to 5, and that is how you solve a triangle. Now I'd like to take a break from looking at shapes and look at more algebraic equations. Starting off, we actually have 1500 equals 3x plus 300. So starting off, you can already see that you can factor out the double 0 on both sides, leaving you with 15 is equal to 0.03 plus 3. And where did I get a decimal from? Oh no, because this is positive 3, and that substitutes that. So you have 50 equal to 3x. 3 times what? There's supposed to be a number here. Where's my calculator? And minus 3x on both sides. 12 times 50. And it's asking us to find what 12 times 50 is. 12 times 5, 0, 2. Where's that calculator I'm looking for? Oh. So 12 times 50 in this case is actually equal to 600. Whoa! Oh my lord. That gave me a little bit of a startle. Excuse me there, folks. But no, because there's supposed to be a 3. Yeah, you multiply this by 3 and this by 3. 36x equals 1800 plus 50. And if you add in the pi, no, okay, so I'm trying to solve this equation up at the very top. Why is there a pi? Where did the 0.03 go? Okay, so 0.03 is actually 3%, which means there's a 3% chance that this is correct. And in my case, we've actually landed in the 97th percentile, where this is very wrong. So I think we're going to have to move on and hope we get better luck next time. Alright folks, we do have a lot of baseball fans in the comments. I saw the opportunity to cover Game 7 of the World Series, and we're going to mix in a little bit of algebra, and we'll make it a little bit more understandable for everybody out there. So I'd like to look at the bottom of the 9th inning. The score is 4-4. Jays are up to bat. All of the bases are loaded. This is home base right here. I would like to know how in the bottom of the 9th inning with fully loaded bases, the Blue Jays tragically managed to throw the game, go to 11 innings, and lose the fucking World Series. 30 goddamn years I waited for this, and the fucking Blue Jays. Fuck. Ah!
Jesus.
So in this next example, I'd like to look at covering an algebraic equation with more than 3 variables. So we're going to do A, B, C, D is equal to D, C, B, A. Now, how are we going to do this? If we were to assign A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, D equals 4, you'll see that we actually have A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2, C equal to 3, D is equal, which is all equal to, if on the left side we were to assign A is equal to 4, no, because A is equal to 1, but it's on the left side. Yeah. Okay, so A 1, B is equal to 2, C equal to 3, D is equal to 4. We actually have 1, yeah, we actually have 1 is equal 1, cancels out, 2 equal 2, cancels out, 3 equal 3, cancels out, 4 is equal 4. So this equation up here actually becomes true. So if you were to get this on a true or false question, you know that it is equal to true. Alright everybody, and thank you for watching. We've covered a variety of subjects today, such as shapes, equations with more than 4 variables right over here, equation with numbers and variables, covered the 2008 finals of the NBA, Game 7 of the World Series, and a lot more. Thank you everybody for watching. If you'd like to see more videos like this, I urge you to subscribe as it really helps out the channel, really gets us going. I will be uploading a couple more educational videos in the next coming few periods of time. I don't know why this is here. I'm gonna move it out of the way. Yeah, and thank you everybody. I hope to see you guys in the comments. Leave a comment if you enjoyed. And I love you all. Thank you very much for watching. Peace!
Red shoes, green eyes, tell me how did you get so fast? Did you eat a bunch of race cars? I tried it and it did not work. White gloves, blue hair, the moment that I blinked you disappeared. Fuck, I ate so many race cars. Tell me. Ate so many race cars, stomach wide, looking like a space bar. They be buzzing in my business like a bee, getting pollen from my pain. They be calling me a fake star. You can't be Sonic, that's what they told me. Hold me down and they scold me. Even you, ma, goddamn it, ma, I paint myself blue, you disown me. Well, guess what, old lady? I got the rings, call me Tom Brady. I got all the gems and I ran so fast that the police couldn't even catch me. This is it, I did it, I'm Sonic, goddammit. Hey haters, said I couldn't do it. Look at me now, I bet you're feeling stupid. All of you said my passion was whack, trying to persuade me to try to give up my act. My mom disowned me, said speed is what I lack. Made me think I can never really go that fast. Well, I ignored that, I said fuck it and snap. Ran 20 miles in 10 minutes at that. So what you gonna say now? Cause I'm up and I see you on your way down. But I won't hold it against you, I don't hate, never will, and I won't pretend to. Gotta go fast, leave it in the past. Stop living, trying to hide behind a mask. This is who I am, won't have it any other way. And it's gonna be the same on each and every other day. Stop trying to get my way, focus up, be the alpha, be your own man.